Welcome to CLIC Connect. I'm your host, Craig. We're just about done with season 10, and guess what? I've got one of the best people on the planet joining me today. She's family to me. She's also the recipient of our Lifetime Achievement Award at our 8th Annual California Lodging Investment Conference. I'm talking about the one, the only, Miss Dorraine Lallani. How are you?
Hi, Craig. Great to see you.
Oh, it's so good to see you. Thank you for making time for us today. I really appreciate you.
Always anything for you. You know that.
Let's tell the audience a little bit of your backstory. I mean, I know it, but you've spent virtually your entire adult life and career at Westmont Hospitality. So would you give the audience a little bit of your bio, please?
Sure. Thanks, Craig. Started at Westmont Hospitality straight out of college. I studied finance and moved back to Houston looking for a job, and found this great opportunity with a up and coming hospitality company. It was kind of me and the principals for a bit, which was fun. I got a great window to see all about the hospitality business from start to finish. And from there, just was able to learn different aspects. I did due diligence on acquisitions. That was really how I learned the business, sitting at the next to Majid Mangalji, our chairman. Was such a great education for me. And just, from there, I did dispositions of our hotels. I went into asset management in the late 90s. I worked on the acquisition team after that, kind of had sold myself out of a job in a way. Took a sabbatical and went to JLL Hotels, which was a great learning experience. Did that for 2 years and then came back to Westmont and have been working on the Red Roof investment since then. So that's been since 2009. I've been working with Red Roof. So it's been a whirlwind.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you've wrapped up like 6 careers into one, and I don't, I got a hard time just finding my coffee cup. So
Nobody else will have me, Craig. What am I going to do?
So let's talk a bit about asset management. That's got to be both a blessing and a curse right now with everything that's going on, coming out of COVID, PIPs, staffing and all that. What's it like being in the middle of asset management?
Well, at Westmont, we do it a little differently than what you would typically think. You think of asset management, you think of a third party that's hired by the ownership to look after their investment or be their representative. And what we do is what I think is great. We have a unique formula because our asset managers are also in-house.
Right.
But, we work very closely with the operating side of the company, challenging each other, which I think is interesting. And we wear the hat of the owner's rep.
Right.
Certainly do all the reporting, capital expenditures, all that. But it's a little unique, being in-house. I don't know of anybody else that really does that, but I think it is, we question our ops people, but we definitely work as a team to give our owners the best results. And I just think it's been a winning formula for us.
I agree. I think having that cohesiveness between the ops side and the asset management side adds not only a level of comfort, but I think it ensures that everybody's pulling in the same direction. I know when we were asset managing, various hotels, I'd come in and just like, first thing I did was walk around the parking lot and start picking up cigarette butts and trash. And everybody that worked on sites going, uh-oh, we're in trouble. And it's like, no, it's just like, we got to look around. We got to see what's going on. I got to see what all your capital expenditures are. And speaking of capital expenditures, those have been on the rise for some time now. So how are you trying to cut some of that so that, there's either, more money going, into the bank, for a rainy day fund or for, taking care of your staff on site and everything else? How's that going?
Well, obviously, we have funds that are set aside, and most of the time it's our lenders that are that kind of dictate and make sure that that gets done. But obviously, we understand the importance of having that rainy day fund. We do our best to try to manage our properties in such a way that we try to catch something before it becomes a big issue. But sometimes, obviously, older equipment's going to fail. It's got a life cycle, and we have to be prepared for that. But we're looking at from the ownership side primarily there, and what is the best for that investment. If the property is, for instance, we know going to be a shorter term hold, then we try to come up with a solution that gets us through that time frame and somewhat beyond. But probably we wouldn't be looking at something that's going to be a 20 or 25-year life, let's say. We would try to, manage that as long as we could. But, we also understand that, you got to look after your property and that investment. And the owners are counting on us because they're not there on a day-to-day basis. So, they're really counting on the asset managers to tell them this is the right solution for the asset at the time.
Absolutely. Now, you've had some assets for quite a long period of time. Others, have come and gone. Where is your focus right now in the continental U.S.? Is it more on the full service, or is it on the select service extended stay side for Westmont?
Well, Westmont really kind of has two types of investments, right? So, they have the investment in Red Roof. So that's our, economy segment. There we, we have partners outside of Westmont that, we also are looking to what their needs are and what their focus is. So in those instances, we tend to be more on the disposition heavy side. Whereas our full service team, we obviously are looking at strategic investments or dispositions, but I would say we're more so would like to be more on the acquisition side, as a lot of folks are. And there's the deals are a little tough to find, but we are turnaround specialists. We don't mind taking on those deals that are kind of hairy because we've done it over and over and over successfully. And so we will look at those markets perhaps that somebody else might not, a secondary or a tertiary market, where we feel like we can make a significant difference in the asset's performance, and therefore for our partners, achieve, better than average returns.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have always had a stellar reputation, of finding that diamond in the rough and turning it around. And, some of the other, assets that you've had, not even nationally, but internationally as well, that you guys have just, really done an amazing job with. Now, your journey with Red Roof, I mean, that was a bold step by you guys. And I like it. I mean, obviously I know Matt and Zach and the development team out here on the West Coast for sure. But that's got to be a lot of fun right now watching them grow. I mean, one of your assets in Northern California got our select service development deal of the year at CLIC. And it was really about the story and how much Red Roof got involved to help the hotelier make that possible. So that's got to be very rewarding and a lot of fun for you. What's going on with Red Roof?
That was very exciting to get that award, Craig. Our development team was very excited to be a part of it. And to, for us, the growth on the West Coast has not come as easily because Red Roof has primarily been known as a brand that's more heavily focused in the Midwest, the Northeast, the Southeast, Texas. We have quite a number of properties, and so growth has not been as easy on the West Coast. But the team has really, really persevered and focused hard to grow in a good way, not just taking whatever. So there, we try to also be selective in making sure that we're getting the right operating partners and that kind of thing. So, and the right assets. So, but yeah, it's been exciting to see. I mean, we were, when we bought Red Roof in 2007, it was heavily a corporate owned locations. We had over 200 company stores. We had probably 100 franchises at that point. So we were not in as much of a growth mode. We flipped that on its side. We started selling assets kind of one by one, but we also, as hired a new development team, which, Matt was a big part of that. He's been with us since 2014. So he just had his 11 years. I can't believe it.
Wow.
He's, put together an awesome group of folks. And then of course we have on the operating side, an amazing team with a lot of longevity in the business. These people bleed red for sure. They've been with the company, many of them, all their careers. So even through multiple ownerships, I think now we're probably have held the ownership of Red Roof longer than any previous owner. But the team members that went through these different owners and managed to hang around and go through all that changes speaks to them, I think. And obviously that then benefits our franchisees because they're getting these people with all that experience and they just have so much confidence and they have so much knowledge about, helping the franchisees in that segment.
I agree. And, during COVID, you guys stepped up at Red Roof and really took care of your franchisees. You either eliminated fees or cut them back, wherever possible to help them. That's the other thing that I really like about what you guys have done at Red Roof. You put that family first mentality into everybody. And with all the people that have been there, for so long, it's that familiarity, it's that family. It's like, hey, I can pick up the phone and make a call. And Stephanie Pena is like the backbone. I mean, she's just great to work with. I love talking to her. I really do. She's just, she's right there to help and right on time with everything. And, everybody that I've talked to, met your owner from the Northern California asset that won, they're proud and they're happy. And I like what you're doing with your extended stay product and also with your red collection. Being that soft brand that you can offer to people as well. So, every time I get a press release on you guys, I'm really looking forward to reading it. So, congratulations.
Yeah, it's really been great to see the new construction products that we've been able to get off the ground, especially with the Hometown Studios by Red Roof, our extended stay segment, as you mentioned. That's a segment that we love, and it's kind of the industry darling, I think. And so we've been really successful and have some great partners there that are helping us grow that. We've done some great conversions, I think. We have a new Red Roof prototype, which is exciting. As I said, we started at, say, around 300 and, have gotten to 700, just with the hard work of all our team and the support of our franchisees. It's been great to see.
Westmont built a hospitality school in Spain a few years ago, which was really exciting. Let's talk about
it's in Portugal.
Portugal. I'm sorry. I've got to go to Portugal. I really do.
Well, I'm going in a couple of weeks. So, if you got your passport ready. Come on, let's go.
Oh, don't tempt me. I can find someone to take care of Mackay. I can jump on a plane. So it's good. But let's talk about labor. It's been challenging. Enrollment in college programs is down. We're struggling to get people in the door, get them trained, get them cross-trained. I think right now is a great opportunity. The more that you know and the more that you're trained, the quicker your promotions are going to come and that career path happens. So what are you seeing out there right
Thankfully, the labor market has gotten a little easier. Obviously, after COVID, it was very tough. Our staff had very difficult conditions to deal with in the economy segment. But we've seen a lot more stabilization. Very few markets now where we're in any kind of crisis. At that time, you would have to take rooms down because you just couldn't get enough people to be able to clean the rooms you sold, even with your general manager. I mean, everybody pitching in and
now? Right.
cross training the different departments, and just everybody helping out. It was a really, really tough time, but we've seen the stabilization, thankfully. Fortunately, most of our properties are in markets where we haven't had the wage challenges like you see in California, and that is just so difficult. I know you all are fighting tooth and nail for the industry owners there. So fortunately for us, we don't have a lot of those pressures, but you've got to take care of your people. We've tried to do some innovative things. We've gone to, for instance, the electronic tipping, because who carries cash, right? So
Yeah.
you want to leave something for your housekeeper because you know what a difficult job they have.
Every time.
Yeah, and this tipping that we're doing is so great because they're getting that money that they wouldn't maybe have gotten otherwise, and it helps us too because it gives us the ability to retain our staff because they like that extra benefit they're getting.
Absolutely. Tipping, education, and this is an industry that I love. You came right out of college, and look at the stellar career you've had. We've got people like Chris Green and Tom Gachet, that started out. Tom was a doorman, and Chris Green was, uh, working in a bar at a hotel. Okay, so they understand that hourly mentality, and that's what I love about this career path in hospitality. You can take it as far as you want to go. I think right now is an absolutely great time. We've got 5 different generations, in the workplace right now. You've got, boomers like me that are aging out. We've got a lot of brain trusts that are just simply going to retire, and we've got to get that knowledge passed on. So I know you're involved with women's organizations, not only at Red Roof, but at AHOA. How are you seeing the mentor mentee and sharing these experiences and knowledge with the next couple of generations, I hope, at least?
At this point in my career, and I'm just having such a good time with um, I'm not even going to call it formal mentoring, but like you mentioned Stephanie Pina. I mean, Stephanie, just humbles me so much. She sees me and she's like, I want to be you when I grow up. And that just warms my heart. And I think that's something about our industry. There's the people in it. There's no other industry like ours. The hospitality aspect carries through in every aspect. So I feel as though I do a lot of informal mentoring, but I'm also doing my best to get more involved with certain causes. I'm very passionate about the human trafficking that, and doing whatever we can with organizations to put our resources and our time together to try to come up with anything we can do to help eradicate that, horrific trafficking. And so, and I see a lot of the women's organizations and the other, all organizations really, that are getting involved, which is great to see. So in a way, I feel like that's a different form of mentoring, whatever we can do to better our industry and really better the lives of others, hopefully. So
I agree. And I think we do that on a daily basis, all of us. And, you look at where we were 10, 15 years ago, our trade associations weren't taken seriously. And that's changed. Get meetings on the Hill. They want to hear from a host. We give back to our communities like nobody else. A lot of people don't realize that. And I think that's something we step up the PR on. So, hey, Dorraine, you ready for our 2-minute lightning round?
I'm ready.
All right. Producer Danny's going to put 2 minutes on the clock starting now. Favorite sport?
Basketball.
Cable or streaming?
Sorry,
Cable?
I missed that.
Cable or streaming?
Streaming.
Interest rates?
Still too high.
I agree. Grand opening?
Hometown Studios.
Love it.
New prototype.
Wow. Social media?
Trying to learn Instagram, still a Facebook. I hate to say it. But I love LinkedIn.
There you go. We all love LinkedIn. Aisle or window?
Aisle. I love to get hit by backpacks.
I love it. Favorite airline?
United.
Reward
Hometown. Sorry?
Reward points.
Reward points. United.
Mercedes-Benz or Porsche?
Ooh. Mercedes.
There you go. Favorite restaurant in your city?
Brasserie 19 right now.
Ooh. Best vacation, location, hotel, or resort?
Portugal's way up there. But my heart's in Vancouver, so I don't know if that's considered. Yeah, it could be a vacation. That's
works.
like home to me. But
Love it.
Vancouver.
You did that with 13 seconds left. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, Durang, you're just the best. Thank you. Our industry is going through a lot. It's going to continue going through a lot. And it's because of people like you that helped people like me a few years ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago as well. It just makes it such a pleasure. And I thank you for everything that you've done for me, sis. I love you. How can people get a hold of you?
I love you too, Craig. You know what I say? People do business with people they like.
Yeah.
And, then they become people you love. And you're one of those people that I love. So they can get a hold of me. Dorraine.Lallani at WHG.com. Look for me at conferences. I'm there hanging out whenever I can. And all fails, find Craig because he always knows where I am, right?
That, and you can also check LinkedIn for Dorraine. So
yes.
Thank you. Love you. You're the best.
Right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
What a great show. I just love Dorraine Lallani. She and Drew Hardy made my career along with Alan Ray. You know, it's just a privilege to know her and talk to her and learn from her, like so many others in our industry. So thank you for joining us today.